Hello guys, in today's video I'll be doing a trade recap of this USDJPY trade that I took yesterday, of which for me it ended up being a small win, but it was a loser. As you can clearly see exactly right here, price didn't make it to the external liquidity. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so starting the analysis from the 4-hour, you can clearly see exactly right here that price was initially uptrending, signified by this previous bullish break of structure, until price made a change of character to the downside, of course, and that caused a bias shift, and now sellers are in control. We can clearly see our current trading range ranging from that high all the way to this low. Price has already taken out the major inducement, major because we can clearly see it occurred after the change of character. So price has already taken out the major inducement, and we can clearly see exactly here it mitigated this extreme order flow. We can clearly see that this one here was mitigated, exactly right there. And yeah, this here is the extreme order flow, actually the only order flow that is valid on this trading range. Yeah, the one that I identified, you can clearly see exactly right there. And we can clearly see price has mitigated the extreme order flow and gave that reversal. Price made it to, you can clearly see exactly right here, this area, that is some few pips before the external liquidity, before price started reversing. Okay, so right here we can clearly see, if I zoom, we can clearly see now price came, filled this liquidity void, mitigated this order flow. We can clearly see the order flow that it created along its way towards this external liquidity, and this order flow was not mitigated. This is a bearish order flow, of course. So we can clearly see price mitigated that order flow, and we can clearly see that selling displacement. So this signaled something to me. The sellers are already in control and price may continue lower towards this external liquidity. And so that's when I decided to shift to the M15. Exactly right here, we can clearly see the M15 chart. And if I am to mark the structure pretty fast here, we can clearly see that, okay, so exactly right here, we can clearly see price has taken out the major inducement, came for more sell side liquidity below here, but then you can clearly see price reversed back and made a break of structure exactly right there. Again, we can clearly see, okay, so if I extend this, you can clearly see it was a break by a wick, but I said a break by a wick is valid. So price retraced again, took out the minor inducement, reversed back, made a break of structure. This retracement was, it was deep enough to confirm that break of structure. We can clearly see exactly right here that this retracement made it to the 50%, exactly right there. So price reversed back, mitigating this bearish order flow. So here the buyers were in control until price now reversed back upon the mitigation of that order flow and made a change of character exactly right there. So we can clearly see that after price has taken out the inducement here, the buyers were in control. So the buyers were in control. Again here, the buyers were in control, and we can clearly see the mitigation exactly right there. So yeah, let me use this. It was, of course, that extreme bullish of B. Price gave that reaction, failed to make it to this high exactly right there, and reversed back. So upon the reversal, what does that mean? Price has made a change of character, and now the buyers are no longer in control, but now the sellers are in control. So this means that now I can participate for the selling. Okay, so we can clearly see again here, price came, took this minor inducement and made a break past this. You can clearly see this was after price has mitigated this order flow exactly right there. That was the extreme order flow. So let me use, that one. So that was the extreme order flow. Price mitigated that order flow and gave that reversal. We can actually measure the retracement starting from that high all the way to this low. We can clearly see that the retracement was deep enough, 50% of course. And after the break of structure, this means that we are in a new trading range. Of course, this one here is the high and this one here is the low. Okay, so now let's mark the inducement, of course, here, and we can clearly see price has already taken out the major inducement And in this case, if I am to mark the order flow, then all of this is actually the order flow exactly right there. Okay, so price is already inside the order flow, but this zone is huge, and so I marked the order block, and we can clearly see that the order block was right there. And of course, this here is the extreme order block, and in this case I don't see any other order block here. I don't see any other order block, and so my sell limit order was set exactly right there. Stop loss, of course, above that high, in such a way that if price reverses and takes that out, then this means the whole trade idea is invalidated, because if price comes and breaks past that, of course that will be a change of character, and now the buyers will be in control, and of course my trade idea will be invalidated. And of course I targeted this external liquidity, and that gave me a 1:3 exactly right here. And so if I run price, you can clearly see exactly right there, price mitigated that, and you can clearly see exactly right there, price triggered the sell limit order. And also this here was an additional confirmation. You can clearly see that that if I am to drag this fixed volume price range, okay, so the fixed, I mean the fixed range volume profile, if I am to drag, of course you can drag it from here, but I wanted to see, like, I mean from the previous range all the way to this area, you can clearly see that this here was the area where the selling volume was high, and that actually gave me an extra confirmation and also extra conviction or confidence. And yeah, if I am to continue running price, we can clearly see price headed onto our favor. Price created an order flow exactly right here. So this is where now I trailed the SL. I mean, I trailed my SL, of course, to that high, to this high here. Yeah. Of which I also shared on X as well as on the free Telegram channel. If you want to be part of it, consider joining. I will leave the link in the description. Yeah, and if I am to continue running price, you can clearly see price headed lower until price did this. Okay, gave a reaction from that order flow, consolidated a little bit, but eventually we can clearly see that price took the trailed SL out, or hit the SL out. And if I'm to continue running price, eventually price made a break of structure. So this means that my trade idea is now, so this means now my trade idea is invalidated. And even though the trade was wrong, we can clearly see that I emerged with some few profits here. We can clearly see exactly right there, because I trailed my SL to that low. Yeah, and if you were to say like why I didn't trail it to this high here, I mean this high below here, we can clearly see that this one here is not a valid pullback, and so not, of course, an order flow, I mean a valid order flow. Yep, and that was it, guys. It ended up being a small win, even though it was a loser. And for those who asked for the trade breakdown, here it is. And for the rest, if you have learned something, do me a favor, drop a like, and see you in the next video.